Episode 11 of Down the Cheezehole. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello.
So, a little bit of feedback that I came, not necessarily feedback, I discovered in my house over the weekend. We maintain not one, but 2 full cheese drawers.
Ooh, wow.
Like many Wisconsin families, we have a garage refrigerator.
Oh,
okay.
Sure.
You know, it's usually dedicated to extra gallons of milk and beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I go in there, and in the opposite drawer of the household drawer, ironically, the left-hand drawer, which typically we use the right-hand drawer, stacked full of cheese. Full of cheese, bricks of cheese.
It sounds like you never need to leave the garage.
Did
You've
you
got
just
beer,
find
you've
this?
got cheese.
It sounds like you just found it.
Well, I knew it was there, but it didn't register until we had been talking about a cheese drawer. So we eat fresh grated cheese. So the sole purpose of this drawer is for grating. So you've got there's literally like a dozen blocks of the cheapest cheddar you can buy, and then my wife, love her for this, freshly grades all of our cheddar and our Parmesan and our mozzarella.
That's impressive.
So there's
impressive.
This is the excess for grading inventory that doesn't fit in the household fridge.
Oh.
I have some bad news about my cheese drawer.
Oh, no.
I had to throw
Oh, no.
all the cheese away.
What?
What did you do?
Lost my fridge.
Oh,
So,
well, that's not your fault.
yeah.
Well, I
it,
mean,
it was a sad day.
I
Kind
think
of
the
is.
cheese would have been fine if the cheese hadn't been open. Cheese doesn't have to technically be refrigerated.
It didn't want to take that chance.
Yeah. I would have probably been the same way.
That's a sad day.
I think I would have panic eaten it once I knew the fridge stopped.
Moment of silence.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Just eat as much as you can if it still seems semi-cold.
Right.
Well, speaking of cheese,
Yep.
Love cheese.
the Wisconsin cheese I think this was a November statistic. Wisconsin cheese production fell like 9% or 8%. And I was saddened to see that. But I still read, and I don't know if I caught this correctly, we still produced, I think this was in the month, like 200 million pounds of cheese. Or was that year to date November?
Well, let's take a look-see here. Just to first comment, that's really sad.
Yeah,
That
you
we're
never
seeing a
want to see
decline.
cheese production fall.
No.
That means we're not doing our job.
Well, Eric's got to restock his fridge now, so that'll
That'll help.
That'll help.
No, December. Well, they must report like a quarter behind.
Okay.
So Eric's going to help the January numbers.
Yeah, so it says cheese production across the state fell for the 4th consecutive month in November. Total output in Wisconsin came to 275 and a half million pounds.
275
and a half
million pounds. So let's call it 276 million pounds of cheese in the month of November.
And that's down about 1% from a year ago and 5% less than this past October. So it's falling pretty quick.
No.
Wouldn't you
no.
think, I would think during the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Well, there were less get-togethers this year.
Sure. COVID.
Yep.
Good deduction. Good deduction.
Now, before we get too far into our cheese Googling, I want to give you guys a kind of a trivia contest.
Oh, boy.
I want to give you 10 true or false questions. I want to see how you do. Can you keep your own score? Can you guys do
Okay.
that?
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. I like this.
I'm into this.
I like it.
So, first question, true or false? It takes 5 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese.
Do we answer out loud or we just write it down?
we're writing it down.
No,
right?
you answer out loud,
Oh.
Well, then how?
and I will tell you if you're right.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Okay.
what do we need to write our answers?
Because
down?
I want you to keep score how many you get right.
Oh, okay. So
Well, I
just make
got
a
10
hash
of them right already.
No.
Well,
keep track for real.
Let's start
Okay, true,
different.
true or false?
So I have to start on this one, and he has to start the
Sure.
next one because I don't want to be
Yep.
swayed by the audience because
Yep.
people are going to know I'm right every time.
Okay. It takes 5 pounds of milk to make 1
I'm
pound of
going to
cheese.
say true.
Yeah, I agree.
False.
It is false.
It takes more.
It takes 10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. So Eric gets
Dang,
to tally
dang.
1.
Okay.
Okay. True or false? 60% of all Wisconsin milk, 60% is made into cheese.
I'm not starting. Eric's starting.
False.
False.
60%.
Of all Wisconsin milk is made into cheese.
True.
I'm going true.
It is false.
Dang it. I just tried to be
More.
different.
It's more than that.
Get this. 90%.
Yes. See, I'm not even mad about being wrong about
Yeah,
that.
because I'm happy.
That's awesome.
This cheese
Yeah.
stats.
Cheese.
Eric's 2-0.
Cheese over milk.
90% of Wisconsin milk is made into cheese, more than 2.8 billion pounds of cheese a year. Okay, true or false? I'll start with Tim this time.
Oh, boy.
Wisconsin produces 600 varieties of cheese.
Oh, my gosh. Who knows this type of stuff besides
Some of
dairy
these you might have to
farmers?
take a stab in the dark. But do you think we make 600 different kinds of cheese in Wisconsin?
I'm gonna just pull the Eric and say false because it's probably more, and it's just gonna blow my mind.
I'm gonna say true because we're due for a true.
I'm just gonna say true.
It is true.
I suck at this game.
That's just so you know. That's more than double the amount of the cheese runner-up state, California.
Losers.
So we're twice up on California. Brick and Colby were the first created in Wisconsin, and
love 'em.
Limburger, the world's most smelly cheese, is only made in Monroe.
You guys ever had that? It's
What?
awful.
No,
Wait,
not.
hold on. Limburger is only made in Monroe.
That's what this
It's that
says.
stinky.
Because nobody else wants it.
Yeah.
No. Is that something like where it can only be called Limburger? Can't certain things? Isn't there a certain whiskey that can only be called whiskey from Tennessee as bourbon? Can't
That's
bourbon
actually
only come from
actually a
Kentucky
myth.
From Kentucky.
That's actually a myth. There's a lot more into what goes into making a bourbon, and it can be made in any state.
Okay, so it's not like only
No,
Kentucky.
but that is a
bourbon.
common misconception.
Okay.
I don't know about the cheese question though.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna ask us these questions and tout all these facts, you got to know what's behind them. Carry on.
Okay, true or false? Wisconsin is the only state that requires a license to make cheese.
True.
True, we protect our cheese.
A license to make cheese.
The only state.
I'm gonna say that's false.
True.
Yes,
Oh, for crying out loud!
All right, I'm on the board.
And it's home to the only the Master Cheesemaker program
Are you
outside of
100%,
Europe.
Eric?
Yeah.
Wow, don't screw it up.
All right, true or false? Cheese curds are the freshest form of cheddar.
True.
True.
Form of cheddar? Is that the trick?
Maybe.
I think that's true.
I'm going with my gut.
True across the board, yep.
I've seen them make it before.
In the cheese-making process, the curds are separated from the whey, and once the whey is drained from the vats, the cheese curds are what remained.
I didn't know those were considered cheddar, though.
Now you do.
Cheddar cheese curds.
True or false?
How do they make string cheese? Has anyone ever seen that?
No.
It's mozzarella.
What? Right?
I know, but I mean, like, what makes this? How does it get that string?
Because if you buy a
don't know.
brick of mozzarella, it doesn't do that.
Right. Well, like fresh mozzarella is kind of spongy looking. You know, like I don't know.
how do they make the string part of it?
We should.
Well, let's-
we should
And then
find out.
and then like
How
we've
is it
had this
made?
conversation internally before our argument over who makes the best string cheese. I prefer the denser, saltier string cheeses.
Agreed.
Whereas Eric and Andy prefer the softer.
It
less
says
salty.
it's made simply by heating fresh mozzarella to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, a temperature just hot enough to realign the milk proteins naturally found in cheese.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
pretty
Now
cool.
I pictured individual strings coming down, and then they are
heating 'em
and then they are compressed with a non-synthetic glue, and then we eat them. But I'm
Cheese
glad
glue?
to know it's simpler than that. Cheese glue.
Cheese glue,
Yep.
like meat glue.
Yeah, some type of cream. You know.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. Carry on with your
All
true
right.
false.
True or false? The average American consumes 50 pounds of cheese a year.
Well, that's weak.
I was
you
going to
know.
say, I want to say false just because I
You
think I
said
can outdo
average
that.
American.
American, yeah. So
Average American consumes 50
American,
pounds of
not
cheese a year.
Wisconsin.
all the other
Wisconsinite.
losers bring the total down.
Right.
I'm gonna say false.
What did you say?
I'm going to say true. We have it in a lot of meals.
Well, see, I think 50 is low. I legitimately do, but I think like all the other loser states are ruining it. I'm going to say that's true. I think it should be more though.
It is false. It's actually lower. 27.
Yeah.
See?
27.
Okay.
But Wisconsin is probably well above that.
Well, above 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, true or
Did
false?
anyone get that right?
I did.
Mr. Perfect Score over here.
Wow.
I said false.
Okay. Hey, I'm not arguing.
I
True or
think.
false?
I don't know. I have to look back.
Wisconsin produces 1/4 of the cheese in the United States.
I'll say false because it's more.
I'm going to go with false as well.
I'm gonna say true.
He wants to be different.
Yep.
It is true.
Eric,
my
you are good at
gosh.
this.
Wisconsin produces 1 out of
think
every
he's-
4 pounds of cheese in the United States, or 3.17
Well,
billion
here's my
pounds.
logic. Didn't you already tell us that we doubled up California, which was number 2? Didn't you tell us that?
That's the number of varieties of cheese.
Oh, varieties.
I've-
I thought that was tonnage.
I have a theory about Mr. Perfect over here, though. I think this is the first time in 11 episodes he's actually deciding to Google crap.
You gave him the questions in
just
advance. Andy gave him the questions in advance.
He might have, or maybe I saw him on a screen.
So we said that a
never know.
quarter of all the cheese in the U.S. comes from Wisconsin. Now, 25% of all the specialty cheese in the U.S. also comes from Wisconsin.
Is this a
True-
question?
True or false?
It's false. It's more than that because you already told us there's 600 varieties in Wisconsin. So is false the proper answer if I'm saying it's
That yeah.
okay?
False.
False.
Okay, all right. 47% of all specialty cheese in the U.S. is made right here in
What
Wisconsin.
question is this?
It's a.
I got two more.
All right. If he goes perfect, you need to make the last question something he can't.
Or just
answer.
lie.
Okay, if it were a country, if Wisconsin were a country, we would rank 10th in the world in cheese production. True or false? I'm going to start with Eric.
I'm gonna say false.
In cheese production.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking tonnage.
Yep.
True.
I think we'd be better than that.
I think so. That's what I'm thinking. too.
I just want to be different from Eric.
You know, there's no way we're better than that. I say that's false.
Better than 10th. The answer is false. If we were a country, Wisconsin would rank 4th in cheese production,
So Eric is now 9-0.
behind the rest of the United States, Germany, and France.
Again, I'm not even mad about being wrong about
This
that.
is the only
I'm
test
proud.
in the history of Eric that he's ever scored a 90%
That's the
on.
only thing I was
true?
ever good at was tests. though.
Guaranteed 90% so far.
All right, we'll see if you can do it. Last question. I'm going to start with Eric again, too. True or
Don't screw
false?
it up.
True or false? The Wisconsin cheese industry accounts for $43 billion each year of Wisconsin's economy.
I'm gonna say false.
Do you think it's more or less?
I think it's more.
Ooh.
I'm done doubting Eric because it's backfired every time for me, so I'm just going to agree. False.
I think that's true.
That is true.
Eric, come on.
$43 billion. Yeah,
Sorry.
you got one wrong.
Screwed
$43
me.
billion in cheese, and out of our total, $88 billion from agriculture.
We kick ass in cheese, and I'm proud of us for that.
Me too. Me too.
I'm very proud of us for that. Well, you had talked about 600 varieties of cheese. There are now 601. Well, we were talking about cheese production.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about. Have you seen? I don't know if this would actually be considered cheese though. Vegan cheese. Sargento or somebody came out with vegan cheese.
I, for one, feel like that's not real cheese.
No, well, it's not technically real cheese,
Yeah.
right? Is it made from dairy? It can't be.
Well, it's like
Plants.
Yeah, vegan
Like,
can't be dairy, right?
So is it cheese? Or
American cheese isn't real cheese either.
No, it's
So
never
like
been
a-
within
it's
100
like
miles of a
cheese
cow.
Product.
Yeah. They
Or
call it,
something.
they call it cheese product or something like that.
Plant-based.
cheese? So we added another cheese product. So were cheese products included in those statistics you used earlier?
No, because these are dairy facts, and if it ain't dairy, it don't count. That's not
Ain't
cheese.
dairy, it ain't cheese.
It ain't dairy, it ain't cheese.
Darn tootin'.
Oh, I don't know. It still goes in my cheese drawer. We go through our fair share of American.
Do you eat
So do
vegan
I.
cheese? Would you eat vegan cheese?
I would want to try it.
I'd try it.
I wouldn't touch it with a 99
no,
foot pole.
I'm with you, Tim.
Put it
What?
right on.
Just like
Put it-
sacrilege?
Yeah,
Put it
I'm
right
proud.
on a veggie burger.
Why would I do that when I have real cheese that I can get right next to it for
Actually, we're
probably
gonna,
cheaper?
we're gonna have veggie burgers and vegan cheese.
Let's do it.
And Andy, we'll have a real beef burger with
That's
some darn
right.
good
Well, here's
cheese.
here's the, so like
Actually, that's
I
what
was
I had
all
for
like
lunch.
that on the vegan
A blind
burgers.
taste test.
I was like that on the vegan burgers, and then I had a vegan burger, and I was like, "What the heck?" Because you couldn't tell.
Which kind was it?
I don't know.
So is it
vegan
scary.
kind?
So it's
with
not
meat?
better than a regular burger, is it?
Well, no. It's just like you're so shocked that like how have they done this? Like what are they doing to food?
That's almost scary.
It is
Yeah.
exactly. It's like scientifically prepared food that you can't. That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
what?
Taste test them. Put them side by side in
okay.
a blind comparison.
Okay.
I would
and
love
see
to
if you
take
can
that chance
figure
because
it
I've
out.
never had a vegan burger, so I would love to take that.
Well,
Yeah.
both the vegan burger
And the
and
cheese.
the vegan cheese.
The cheese would be easy to do.
You'd
there.
have to take like the crappiest real cheese because I can't imagine I'm going to put like a vegan cheese up against a 5-year aged cheddar.
No.
Sure.
So what is the vegan cheese? What kind of cheese is it? Is it vegan cheddar?
They have a pepper jack, it looks like. And
Love me some pepper jack.
Me too.
and then like a shredded mix with the it has like some
With sharp cheddar, creamy mozzarella, and zesty pea jack flavors.
Okay, so we're going to get a brick of pepper jack vegan and serve it up against an inexpensive pepper jack Wisconsin.
Can we buy it here, locally?
Probably not. I think it just came out. Who's making it? I said Sargento, but I think that's wrong. It's somebody like that.
Sprouts. No,
Schulzberg?
Vivan Foods.
No.
It's a vegan brand. Vivan Foods launched its cheese line at all 300 Sprouts Farmers Market
It's
stores.
Vivan vegan cheese, which is just
It's a subsidiary of Wisconsin-based dairy Schumann Cheese.
Schumann. I had an S. I said Schulzberg.
Schumann.
So who is it? Schumann cheese?
Samsonite.
I was way off.
Stroh's.
Stroh's. Oh my god.
What was Stroh's was not made in Wisconsin, I don't think.
Stroh's was a Pabst thing.
No, I think it was originally a Detroit beer though. Wasn't it originally a Michigan beer and then Pabst bought them?
That's a good question. I used to drink Stroh's in college.
If only we could look it up.
I'm looking.
See?
It says owner's Pabst.
What is the history of Stroh's? I think Stroh Brewing Company was a Michigan brewing company. Or was it Lacrosse? Was it G. Heilemann?
Beer
Yeah,
trivia next
it was,
week, I see.
It was Heilemann.
Okay, so Heilemann owns Stroh's. So we went to vegan cheese, and then since we're talking about cheese and farming, the Wisconsin farmers received $80 million in COVID relief, and that was kind of a big government thing. Is when Trump laid down all the tariffs, the farmers were highly impacted by that, and then he pushed a lot of the tariffs to farmers. So $80 million to farmers in COVID relief. How was that divvied? Does anyone have any?
Well, actually, it
facts?
says it's allocated to Wisconsin farmers, food banks, and other eligible nonprofit organizations.
So what do the farmers? How do they apply? Is it like a PPP loan for farmers, and it's based on something? Nobody knows.
Not seeing it.
I'm stuck with I'm reading this article, and there's Bill Gates is now the largest owner of private farmland in the nation.
Really?
Yeah, it's a recent thing. He's been quietly buying up farmland. He owns 242,000 acres across 18 states. Now he's the largest private farm owner in the United States.
Is he trying to secure? We had talked before about farmland being turned into, like housing developments. Is he maybe trying to secure farmland?
I don't know.
And then he must lease it back out to the farmers or something?
Doesn't say if he owns or how much he owns in Wisconsin. That's not listed in one of these, but
I also see in this article that the dairy farmers of Wisconsin are doing a program this year. They're sending complimentary heart-shaped boxes of cheese to selected people through its Wisconsin cheese program.
Oh, if we get one of those, that would be sweet.
Well, I just want to. There is a link here for nominations, and just to let you guys all know, I did submit one for us this morning.
Nice, nice.
We'll keep there's giving out
Did you
500
submit it
such
under
boxes.
Down the
I did.
Cheezehole?
I gave them a
Attaboy.
little background that we're Wisconsin-based, named Down the Cheezehole.
Attaboy.
Put it under your name and email, so take a look at that.
Thank you. So I can get the spam. I appreciate that. That's
You're
cool.
welcome.
The cheese spam.
But it says nominations will be taken until January 31st. So, I mean, I don't think it hurts if all my viewers are out there. Keep nominating us.
Yes, everyone should nominate us multiple times. Speaking of everyone should nominate us, this is a good time to remind everybody to like and follow the podcast and follow us on YouTube. On YouTube, we're at Cheezehole. If you just put Cheezehole into YouTube, you'll find us. That's Cheezehole with a Z because we're
cool like that.
Because
We're
we're
unique.
cheesy. Well, let's move on from cheese. I think we've lost half the audience by now talking about cheese. There was a drunk driver who happened to take a little bit of a wrong turn at the Capitol and accidentally went up the Capitol steps.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Darn tootin'.
he got behind the wheel and gave her Billy right up those steps.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I do want to say that the lead of this story here does want make it clear that this did not appear to be politically motivated.
He was just drunk.
He's just drunk.
He was just drunk.
He's going for the record after last week's episode. He saw that guy had 18, and he's just trying to ramp it up.
You're talking about records?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting lead-in because I have a surprise guest for us this week. I am calling. I have somebody lined up who has the second most DUIs in Wisconsin, and we're gonna call this person,
No.
and we are gonna have an interview, with John Walker, who has 17 DUIs.
Oh boy.
And let's see if
Well,
I
I'm
can
going to
get-
let you take the lead on
let's
this one
see
because
if
I
can
don't even
get
know what
John
to
on the
say.
phone. Oh, I need the box.
This one here?
Yeah, here we go.
Hello,
Hello, is this Mr. Walker?
this is John Walker.
John, this is Jeff from the Down the Cheezehole podcast. We talked. I sent you a note and asked if you'd be interested in talking on the podcast.
Yeah, can you keep it down? I got a bit of a headache.
Hold on, John. I'm trying to get you set up with the mic. I failed here. John, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, if you could, you just keep it down a little bit because I got a bit of a headache today.
Well, when we talked, you had said that you were a little bit disgruntled that number one, that you weren't the guy that went up the steps at the Capitol.
No. I mean, we all have dreams, but that wasn't me.
Well, have you ever driven up any steps?
Well, not that I can remember. That seems like something that I need to put on the bucket list.
I was gonna say, John, there's still time. You sound like a young man.
How, John? You have how I found you was I did a quick record search of the highest number of DUIs in Wisconsin. You have 17. You're over there in Pepin County, in a town I'd never heard of until I looked you up, in Porcupine, Wisconsin.
Huh.
Is the problem? Go ahead.
They don't really claim me, but that's where I live.
Is the problem in Porcupine is you have to travel so far between bars? It requires a lot of driving, and hence, if the bars were maybe closer.
Yeah, that could do. I do spend a lot of time driving to various parts of the state to stock up. I'm a frequent shopper at Total Wine, at Badger Liquors, and at Woodman's. They know me pretty well over there.
Sure. So do you get a lot of these tickets going bar to bar, or is it just like something you enjoy doing, is driving around and having a cocktail?
Yeah, well, not everybody likes to drink as much as I do, but I'm working on it.
You're trying to teach others the craft?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of an art to it, and, living where we live, we got to keep up state traditions.
Sure.
You're currently living in the Pepin County Jail out on the work release program, the Huber program, or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for a living? Just curious.
Well, I spend a lot of time with. I'm working on an effort. I got a goal for the University of Wisconsin, to change their mascot from the Badger to the Clydesdale.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm spending some time on that.
Well, are you a Budweiser man, or you just like horses?
Oh, a little bit of both. I don't discriminate. My license plate is PBR me ASAP.
What's your go-to cocktail?
PBR must be.
Well, let me tell you something. This COVID thing really threw a monkey in the wrench, but I'm really thankful that hand sanitizer is as popular as it is. It comes in handy when I'm out of schnapps.
Oh my! So you like the schnapps too? That makes sense. Being from Wisconsin.
I did have an accident last week. I accidentally dropped my keys in an old fashioned and then drank it.
Because you couldn't get your keys.
Yeah.
Well, John, I don't want to take up any more of your time because I don't want your employer to get mad at you, although I'm not even sure you're employed. But
yeah, that's a stupid question.
Yes, it is. I'm not the most intelligent person, I'll tell you that. I just want to tell you that we are not in favor of you trying to break that DUI record. We'd prefer you stay sober and out of trouble. And, if you're going to do it, maybe we could set up a closed course type thing and pull you over to get you that 18th and 19th. You're too short yet.
Yeah, I've got some work to do, and I don't know if it's going to happen. But, we'll see. I don't know if I can promise anything.
Yeah, don't make any promises, John. John Walker from Porcupine, Wisconsin. We appreciate having you on the cast. We'll send you a Down the Cheezehole t-shirt. What size are you going to need on that?
Well, that'd be probably an XL at least.
Oh, I pictured you being more of a skinny man,
Yeah.
Can you cut the sleeves off of it for me?
You bet.
You bet.
Darn
We
tootin'.
can definitely do that. You want a trucker's hat, too?
Oh, do you even have to ask?
No, sir. John Walker from Porcupine, Wisconsin. We sure do appreciate having you on. Thanks again.
I'm heading back to bed. Thanks, fellas.
You bet. Have a good day.
Yeah, bye.
John Walker, Porcupine, Wisconsin, everybody.
Porcupine, Wisconsin. It sounds like a nice place to live.
Yeah. I've never been over in the Pepin area.
No, haven't spent much time there.
Well, we try to line up guests from time to time. I'm not sure that one was a winner, but let's roll with it.
He's something.
Yeah, John was something. We definitely don't want him to beat that record. I think that was something. That's a dubious honor, and we don't condone that. Where were you? We lost Andrew.
Yeah, I had to run to the bathroom.
Oh, wow. You missed the surprise interview I had with a man named John Walker from Pepin County, who was trying to break the dubious honor of the 19 DUIs. But anyway, let's just get past that and move on. I guess since we're talking about dubious honors, how about the torpedo? Can we grab Karen and do our torpedo?
I think Karen's ready.
Is she?
Yeah.
Ooh, she's waiting in the wings.
Well, we had talked about Thorpe last week, and we're going to do the Torpedo Restaurant. 4.4 stars, 824 reviews. Everybody loves the torpedo except this Karen.
I ordered the turkey dinner. My gravy was yellow. Mustard yellow. The whole place reeks of mildew or mold. I was actually afraid to try my food. My husband ordered a breakfast skillet, and it looked sketchy and tasted even worse. Nothing was good. It was dirty, stinky, and the food looked bad and tasted worse. Gordon Ramsay would shut it down until you figured out what the smell was and why your gravy was yellow. I would never eat here. The people in this town must just be used to bad food. I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
So that Karen took a big dig on Thorpe, telling him that they
Yeah.
all had bad food
This is
taste.
the kind of-
It's one thing to take a stab at the Torpedo Restaurant, but I mean, just to hit all the people of the town
Yeah.
is another thing.
This must be the kind of slop you're all used to.
Yeah, you people suck at good food.
Wow.
And then she's clearly personal friends with Gordon Ramsay.
Yep, name dropped him in
Yeah,
there.
she name dropped Gordon Ramsay. He wouldn't be happy with that mustard yellow gravy. So the torpedo must serve breakfast all day, because why was she having a turkey dinner and her husband was having the
I
breakfast
noticed that as
skillet?
well too.
Yeah. All day breakfast at the torpedo.
Which is fine. I love all day breakfast.
I do too.
Yeah, I
I'm a
do
fan.
breakfast for dinner a lot.
I want to share something with you. I'll have to put this up on the internet, but I drove by a house on this weekend in one of our neighboring towns, and this I'll have to show this, but this was on their fence
My neighbor is a Karen.
and a huge sign.
Where
on the
is
fence.
this at?
Well, can I disclose the?
Why not?
Oh, it's in Rhinelander.
Is it really?
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's
My
just
neighbor is a Karen.
So there's a
they have
feud
they have a
going
fence around their house with a big sign that says "My neighbor is a Karen,"
on. That's so cool.
and I
funny
had to
as
stop
hell.
right in the middle of the street and take a picture of it.
Huh. You should keep driving by that and like let us know if there's developments, because obviously
Yeah.
there's a feud going on.
I think next week I'm going to try and line up the Karen neighbor.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to. You got all our hopes up.
Well, hopes and dreams, just like John Walker. He had hopes and dreams as well. Wow, that's good stuff. So I reported, and I think it must be erroneously or changed now. A few weeks ago, we talked about they canceled the Badgers women's hockey season.
Yeah, that was not right.
Well, there's scores coming in again, so I'm confused as to, did I have just the wrong news, or did they reinstate the women's hockey program, or was it a temporary COVID closure, or what did I mess up on that?
I'm not sure because I looked up I was kind of interested in seeing a hockey game. I looked up the Pointers, UW Stevens Point, to see when they're playing, and they're all canceled. They're all their winter sports are canceled. I don't know if that's a WEAC thing or a WIA thing, but yeah, they're not doing anything this winter.
Well, wait. Now you're confused.
So I looked up the Stevens Point hockey team to see if the men's
University
of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
Okay, well, what
men's or women's?
WIAA?
Right, yeah. But they're not having a season. They canceled all their games. So if it was across the board NCAA.
You said WIA. That's where
Oh,
you threw
sorry.
me. Okay.
Sorry.
So does anybody know, was the Badgers women's hockey ever canceled, or did I have that wrong? I guess we probably don't have that old link where
They
I
have
had
some.
that news.
It looks like there's some series were postponed.
So
or
I messed up
canceled,
that
but
news.
maybe.
So those of you who went into the local tavern and sat next to the guy on the bar stool next to you and said, "Well, canceled the women's hockey. Did you hear that?" And the other guy goes, "No, you got that wrong." You go, "No, I heard it on down to Cheezehole." Yeah, we were wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. The women are still playing hockey and doing pretty well, I think.
Yeah, they're ranked number 1 or number 2.
Yeah. Did they
Number
just
two.
beat They beat the Gophers, who were number 1, I
Right,
believe.
and this headline is catchy. Wisconsin women's hockey, number 2 UW, sweeps number 1 Minnesota right into a dumpster.
Boom!
Into a dumpster.
That's what it says. It's a
Right into
dumpster
a
fire.
Yeah.
That's a dumpster fire. Since we're on the sports topic, there's some guy is building like a massive, crazy golf course somewhere in central Wisconsin that replicates some other massive, crazy. It looked like a European type course with a lot of like those sandy bunkers and weird. But what an undertaking! Did you guys happen to see that?
It's like I did. It's an 850 acre property
Oofta.
that they're making into a golf course.
Where is it?
It's adjacent to Sand Valley Golf Resort, like Nakusa area, down by Rapids.
The total estimated costs $16 million for the course.
That seems low to me. Well, like if you saw the pictures of the course he's replicating, what was the name of that course he's replicating?
Lido
Golf Club.
Lido. Yeah, I'm not a golfer. I wish we had Rusty this week. Maybe Rusty can call us next week and explain to us Lido, like if what that's all about.
Where in central Wisconsin are they building this?
Nakusa
He just
area.
said Nakusa.
Wisconsin has some pretty historic golf courses.
Well, Wisconsin
I mean,
kicks ass. What's weird about Wisconsin is it has like a bunch of really good courses,
Yeah.
but we can only play on them 3 months a year.
Right.
It's kind of strange to me.
Yep.
But you'd think you'd put that stuff where you could be open year round.
Hey, we take what we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm happy to see it. I typically try not to talk about the Packers because it's just something.
Gosh, I love the Packers.
Everybody, we talk about the Packers every day, regardless. But we have to this week. NFC Championship game
Here we go.
at Lambeau.
Yeah.
It's go time.
Darn tootin'. I'm excited.
We even got Lil Wayne behind us. Lil Wayne released a new song last week prior to the playoff game called Green and Yellow.
Yep.
version 2.
Version 2.
Yep. Because he did this. He released this track, the original track, back in what year?
2010.
Until last year they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was a rip of
Black and
Black
Yellow.
and Yellow,
Wiz Khalifa. Yeah.
So he put out the song "We Won the Super Bowl," and he hasn't done one since. Well, now guess who's back? Wheezy's back.
Who's
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Back
And
again.
We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it now.
Yep.
Don't jinx us, but I do feel good. I didn't realize there's two things I didn't realize, and then I have a question. But I didn't realize that this was Aaron Rodgers' first NFC Championship game at Lambeau. That made
It
my
is.
tiny
It
little
is.
head explode.
Yeah.
You know, you think about
crazy.
all of the playoff experience he has, and he's never done an NFC Championship game at Lambeau.
Yep.
And they're letting in a finite number of fans again, which is cool.
Oh, the fans were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun game to watch.
I'm guessing. Did you notice everybody slapping those signs on the bleachers?
yeah.
I bet that made a boatload of noise.
Did.
Well, the stadium wasn't as full, so it was echoing more.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
I thought I could hear that at my house.
Yeah.
So they're letting in some fans. Then the second question is I'm wondering, has there ever been a quarterback who played in both the AFC and NFC Championship game?
Oh, I'm sure there has. Not that I know off the top of my head. Eric, you're kind of our sports guy. Come on.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Because Brady obviously is right now, right?
Brady, he might be the first.
Because he, and then I was thinking, were they in the AFC Championship game last year? No, they fell short, right? The Patriots. Kansas City and who
City.
last year?
God, it might have been the Patriots.
Yeah, that might have been.
So then the question becomes: is he the only guy to ever play in the AFC Championship game and then the NFC Championship game the following year with a different team?
Well, that would, yeah.
It was the Titans last year.
Joe
so
Montana
he
has.
with Kansas City and San Francisco.
You got it. He's played them both.
That was the only guy I could
Championship
think of that might have done it.
Brady becomes the fourth quarterback to play an AFC and NFC
Oh,
championship.
who are the others?
Craig Morton, Jay Schroeder,
Jay
Schrader, not sure if that's how you would say it, and Joe Montana.
Jay Schroeder. What do we got for what? Give us some history there. Jay Schroeder.
So we got Jay Schroeder. I've never heard that name before.
I haven't. I don't know why. It must be like an '80s quarterback.
So he played for the Redskins.
What years?
He was
Listen,
84 to 87 with the Redskins.
Did he play in him? Or I thought that was like the Mark Rippon era. Was he a bench warmer? Or did
This is to start. So he
So he
This
started.
is to start in both an AFC and NFC championship game. Yep.
Okay, so '80s, and then who was the other one?
Craig Morton.
Was he for the Saints,
Broncos and Cowboys.
Broncos, and Cowboys?
It doesn't appear that
'70s.
anyone has ever won a Super Bowl from in both conferences, though. I've seen Manning has won with two different teams, but
both in the AFC.
both in the AFC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Well, this isn't going to happen this year either for Tom Brady.
Right.
I'm telling you
Yeah.
that right now.
Sad.
Yep.
He doesn't need another ring.
No, he doesn't, but we do. I'm very excited about this NFC Championship game at Lambeau. I'm going to tell you guys that.
I can't put it into words.
And I got nothing else to say other than go Pack go. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.